Once you are in the cPanel's homepage, there are some few things we need to do first before we bring in the WHMCS files, and I think you should have your files provided to you by your web hosting or your reseller hosting provider. Okay, so once you have that, the first thing I want to do is create a database. Okay, so this is going to manage all the data regarding all of your users. When they create ticket, they have to be stored somewhere. So basically, it's going to handle the data side of your web app. Okay, and that of WHMCS. It is required when you are installing WHMCS to have a database. So on the search tool, just type in data, and then you should have manage my databases. Okay, that is for create, manage, and delete databases and their users. Go ahead and click on that, and you'll be rerouted to this page where you have to create your database. Okay, so to create that database, just enter the database name here on the tab that says create new database, and it is usually your username underscore your database name. I have this WHMCS database. Name your database whatever you want to name it. Don't use the same thing, WHMCS DB. Okay, but if you think you have multiple database, you can add something that kind of relates to WHMCS. And once you are sure of the name that you want to give to your database, you can go ahead and click on create database. The web page reloads, and then your database has been created. Now the next thing you are going to do here is to create a database user. Okay, so to create the database user, just right after you have created your database, you have database users, add a new user. So for this one, you are going to add a database user as well as a database, the user password. Okay, and eventually you associate this database user with the database that we just created. To add your database user, just type in the database user that you want to add. Okay, so I already created this one, so kind of the system still remembers what I created earlier. So WHMCS user. Okay, so I have the WHMCS database and that of WHMCS user. So once you are convinced with the database user that you want to create, the next thing is to create a password for this specific user. Okay, now this password is going to be very important when you are installing WHMCS. It will be required. So it's very important that you copy this password and save it in a place that you can always access. You can randomly generate a password using the password generator, or if you have a strong password enough, you can go ahead and enter that password and enter it again. Okay, so for me, I don't have the time to do that. I'm just going to generate a random password. So when you click on it, the password will be generated. You can keep generating until you have a password that you prefer. Okay, and once you've got that, you have to check this mark that you have copied the password, and then you truly have to copy this password. If you don't have this password, you wouldn't be able to complete the installation process. So during the installation process, you are basically connecting the WHMCS software with that of your database, and if you don't have the right password, it is going to fail the installation. So this is very important. So go ahead and copy that password and click on use password. So now that you have created this password, and then you have confirmed that you have this password copied somewhere, you can go ahead and click on create user. Now it's very important that you paste this password somewhere that you can always access and copy. Okay, so I'm going to do the same. And once you have pasted that password somewhere you can always access, you can go ahead and click on go back. And the next thing we are going to do here is to associate this particular database with the database user you just created. So we have WHMCS user. So what we are going to do is to connect the two of them. So what I will do here is to add the user to the database. So you can see this tab right here. Okay, so if you have multiple databases, you basically have to click and select the right databases that you want to connect. Okay, so for me, I just have one user and one database, so I can go ahead and click on add database user. Now once you are done, you have to allow privileges to this particular database user. So you've connected them, but what privileges do you want this particular database to have? To add your privileges, go ahead and click on all privileges. Okay, so this one is going to have all the read and write privileges for that particular database. Okay, so if you go through them, you can see the privileges that will be granted to this particular database user or database on your WHMCS software. Okay, so once you are done here, you can click on make changes. Okay, and this becomes safe. All right, so once you are in the public_HTML directory, we are going to upload our WHMCS files in this same directory. To upload your WHMCS files, we are going to create a folder, and I'm going to name that folder billing. So just navigate to folder. So you have a plus icon with folder, just click on it, and then we want to create a folder called billing. So I'll name mine billing. You can name it whatever you want. I'm just using billing because WHMCS is the one handling all of the billing, so I'll just name that as billing, but you can name it whatever you want and click on create folder. Now we have a folder named billing. Okay, so we want to put our WHMCS files in this billings folder. So you can go ahead and open the folder up, click on upload, and then once this window opens, navigate to the directory where your WHMCS files reside. Okay, so click on select files, and then for me it's on my desktop, so I'll go ahead and select WHMCS version 8.12, and once that is done, I'll open this up. Now once you open it, the upload will begin. So you have to wait for a few minutes for the upload process to complete, and then you proceed with the rest of the installation. So once you select it, the upload process will begin. So all you have to do is to wait for the upload process to complete, and then we'll proceed with the rest of the installation steps. Alright, so our WHMCS installation is complete, and you can confirm that by this 100% with the green bar. Okay, so once you have this 100% upload, go ahead and click on go back to your home directory. And now let me just get rid of a lot of these cPanel accounts that have been opened. I don't think we need them. We can just open up a cPanel account anyway if we need them. Okay, so now our WHMCS file is residing in our billings folder. Okay, once we have successfully uploaded our WHMCS file, which is in the zip format, the next thing we are going to do is to extract the files and then place them into our billings folder. Okay, so that's basically where the installation and the setup of WHMCS will be done. So just click on it and select extract from the list of drop down that appears, or you can select extract from this top right corner. Okay, it should still work correctly. Okay, so once you select that extract, you can go ahead and click on extract files. Now this takes a few minutes or seconds for the extraction to complete. You just have to be patient and wait for the WHMCS files to extract completely. Okay, so once it's done, you can close it, and now let's reload the page. And as you can see, for this particular case, we extracted it directly into our billings folder. Okay, so now we have successfully uploaded our WHMCS files into our billings folder. So now what you can do is you can delete this zip file. So I'll just go ahead and get rid of it, and you can delete it permanently from your cPanel account because you have all the files you need to install WHMCS. Okay, so if you come here, you have the installer. Okay, so you'll be able to install WHMCS. All right, so now that we have uploaded our WHMCS files into our billings folder, so if you come back right here, this is the billings folder. You can see we have WHMCS in our billings folder. Okay, so if we visit our domain, let me just visit that otherhost.com right here. So if you visit your domain /billing, you should be able to complete the installation. Now note that we will configure WHMCS such that no one can just come and visit /billing and be able to have access to your WHMCS account. Okay, now this is for a tutorial, but I'll show you how you can change the URL such that nobody will be able to get access to your account via /billing. Okay, so what we're going to do next is to complete WHMCS installation. Okay, so to proceed with the installation, return to your domain. Okay, and then just add /billing. So go ahead and add /billing to your domain, and then you will be rerouted to the WHMCS installer. Okay, so right now it says welcome to WHMCS. Before you can begin using WHMCS, you need to perform the installation procedure. Okay, so this is where I was asking you guys to keep the password that we copied during the creation of the database. So once you are done, you can go ahead and click on to begin. Okay, so we are installing WHMCS version 8.12. There may be other versions available, maybe at the time you are doing your installation or based on the version that is provided for you. Okay, but for what I know, the installation is pretty much the same, so you don't have to worry about anything. So go ahead and click on I agree to the terms. Now, if there are any file permissions that were not checked or had different file permissions, they will basically be listed here, and you can go ahead and change those file permissions in your cPanel account. I have a video in the channel where I show you how to kind of change file permissions. Okay, and now once you are done, you can go ahead and click on begin installation. Okay, all right, so under this window, you're going to put in your WHMCS license key that should be provided for you. For database, leave it at localhost. Your database port, leave it as it is, and then you can paste in your database name, your database password, and that of the username. Okay, so this is your database name, your database password, and whatever username you want to give to this particular one, so that you can use to what log in. Okay, so you have your database name, your database password, your database username. Okay, so all you have to do is to enter that information and then click on continue. So what I'm going to do is return to my cPanel account and just return to that database. Okay, so I have my create and manage databases. I'm just going to go back there, and now we can return here to where it says add database to user. Okay, you can click this add icon. It wouldn't change anything. It just opens up this window for you to be able to copy the user and that of the database name. Okay, for me, I already have my password copied, so you can enter your WHMCS license key. I'm just going to fill this information and we'll proceed with the rest of the video. Okay, so I have successfully added all the details for my WHMCS installation, and what I'm going to do is to go ahead and click on continue. So initializing database, this may take a few moments. Just wait for it to complete and then we'll proceed. All right, so that stage is complete. The next thing is to enter this information. So remember, this is the information you are going to use to log into your WHMCS account. So when you're entering it, especially your username and that of the password, please make sure that it is something you will remember, or you can copy and paste somewhere if you need to use them again. So I'm just going to enter my name. Those are the details. So I enter my first name, my last name, and then my email. Okay, so I enter my email right here, and we have adelhost@gmail.com. So you can create an email ID like this or an email account like this to be used for your WHMCS installation or anything related to your WHMCS. Okay, so I enter my username. Okay, so go ahead and enter your username. That's the username you want. I'll just leave it at adelhost. Okay, and then I'll enter my password. Okay, so make sure this password matches. Okay, and once you are sure this is the password you want to use, go ahead and complete setup, and this will proceed. Oh, there's a mismatch with my password, so I'll just fix that. Okay, so I'll try again. So now that I'm done with that, the password, I'll just go ahead and continue. All right, so now that my password match, you can see our WHMCS installation is complete. Okay, now the instruction given here is to delete the install folder. So go ahead and delete the install folder. To delete it, just return to your cPanel account. Under the billings folder, we'll look for that install folder and delete it. Okay, so we have install. So you just select install, click on delete, and now right here, delete it permanently from your cPanel account and then confirm. That way, anyone who visits your domain slash billing, or in case they get the directory where your WHMCS files reside and they happen to visit adelhost.com/billing or whatever your domain name /billing/install, that will no longer be available for anybody to run such an installation. Okay, yes. So now you can see for the rest of the setup, secure the writable directory. I'll walk you through that in WHMCS settings, and security will set up our daily cron jobs. Basically, when they run, you will see that everything will be configured. You get your notification when a ticket is created and all of those things. Okay, so now you can configure your WHMCS installation. So I'll basically walk you through the WHMCS security and the rest of the installation once we are in our WHMCS interface. Okay, so now I'm just going to go to the admin area. And once you have created that account, you need to log in with the information you used during the installation. Okay, so this was my username, and then I'm going to enter my password. So enter the exact password you use, otherwise this whole process will fail. And for you to be able to create another password, you just have to forget password and then get a forget password link or something to correct it, or you have to go through the installation process again. That's deleting the database and reinstalling this whole thing again, and then making sure that the right password is entered. Okay, so once I have my password entered, I'll click on login. All right, so once your login is successful, this is the interface that you are going to see. Okay, so right up you will see your basic getting started with WHMCS wizard. Okay, so what we are going to do is to just complete this wizard and then proceed with the rest of the installations. Okay, so first of all, we'll start with the general settings. So I'll go at next, and in the general settings, they will require your company name. Okay, so you can enter, I'm going to enter other host, whatever your company name is, go ahead and enter that. If you have a logo, you can choose your logo, and if you have an email, I'll just go ahead and put other host, admin@otherhost.com. Now I'll show you how you can create these email IDs in cPanel. Okay, and then you can enter your address, your country. Go ahead and enter your country. I'll put Ghana, and then your language is English. Okay, so you can put your your address. Okay, that is where your company is located. So I've placed in Accra, Ghana, but please put in your exact company location here in the setup. Okay, now WHMCS automatically takes up your WHMCS URL. Okay, so this is your hosting slash billing, and this is where all your WHMCS files reside. Okay, so once we have this out of the way, I'll go ahead and click on next. And the next thing is to select your payment gateway. Now we'll look at how to set up payment gateways later in the video. Okay, you have to set up a payment gateway that can accept payments using WHMCS. So if you have a PayPal account, you can just enter your PayPal email. I don't have a PayPal account, so I'll just enter this test email. I'll disable mail in payment, and then we'll proceed. So for most of them, we'll continue to set them up. Okay, now this is your domain setup. Okay, so this is the pricing of the different domain TLDs right here. Now this will by default be what will be available in your web hosting account. Okay, but as we continue to set up, we'll give them different pricing, and we'll even add more domain TLDs in our WHMCS settings. Okay, and now Enom is another domain reseller program that you can sign up for, but I'll give you other alternatives that you can use if you want to, but you can also look at Enom as well. But we'll set up a domain reseller so that whenever your clients purchase a domain, you are kind of the person to buy that domain on their behalf, and then you connect your WHMCS with that particular reseller, and the whole process will just run smoothly. So I'll go ahead and click on next. Okay, this is particularly a very important part of the session. Okay, so make sure you are entering your IP address. Your IP address is your domain. Okay, so for mine is otherhost.com. So go ahead and enter your specific domain account. That domain will translate into that IP address that was assigned to it. Okay, so go ahead and enter that domain, and what I'm going to do is go ahead and enter my username and that of my password. Now your username and password were communicated to you via email. Okay, just forget about the fact that we were logging in directly through our client directory, but you should have access to your username. My username is, I think it's Adelhawks, and the password, I'll just copy that and paste. Okay. All right, so I'll paste my password right here. And then the last part of this thing is to enter your primary domain and that of your secondary domain. Okay, now don't worry about this. If you verify connection, they will automatically be filled. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and enter my primary name service and that of my secondary name service. Now note, those will also be provided to you by your hosting provider. Okay, so you should know those, and then you can enter them. So I'll enter mine and then we'll proceed. So mine is NSS1, NS1, NS2. Okay, but for now we want to verify the connection after we've entered our username and password. If everything is correct, we should see a success message telling us that the connection was made. Okay, so I'll go ahead and verify connection, and as you can see, connection successful. The remaining details have been populated for you. Okay, so you can see the name new and that of the IP address has been placed here. Okay, yes, so I'll go ahead and click on next. We are done with that. And then for this part, you can go ahead and click on next once more, and your WHMCS initial setup is complete. Okay, make sure that this part that asks you to enter your domain as well as the username and password are correct. Okay, so that you are sure that the connection is successful. And once that is done, you can go ahead and click on finish. Now we are in our user interface. That is our WHMCS user interface that we are going to use to manage that of our billing ticket. You can see pending order, ticket waiting, pending cancellation, pending model actions. And we will look at WHMCS security settings and a ton of WHMCS settings that will make your web hosting ready to go. Okay, so let's get into the next step.